Thank you for coming here. Thank you for David and all the team behind the EHS event. It's really great to be here. This event is one of the signs of how we change things in society. I remember back in 2018, I was in contact with Magali Blessure that started the International World EHS Day. And just watch how that campaign has grown, and many around the world knows about the International World EHS Day. So the most important thing that we can learn from what we have been doing in the ECI, what David is doing, what we all do, is to act and take the first step and then the next step, and suddenly one day we have made the change. So I will tell a little bit about the background from what Rob was talking about, and that is the ECI. I will say ECI, that's a European Citizens Initiative. It's a democratic tool that the EU gives to us citizens to try to come forward with new laws and legislations that we want to have changed. And we have to write a lot of we have to read a lot of law stuff and the treaties of the EU, and we have to write down the proposals, exact proposals that we want them to change. And then we have to collect 1 million signatures. That's in Danish, by the way. So 1 million signatures, and that's difficult. So I will talk about the successes and the success or the not, the what do you call it? I don't want to say failure, because it was not a failure. But challenge, thank you. We did not reach 1 million, but we had success with a lot of other stuff. So this is a picture from the united cooperation between the Netherlands and the Belgian people, the campaign people here on the streets handing out flyers. So by the way, my name is Pernille Schriver. I'm an educated biologist. I'm a science teacher. I'm the vice chair of the Europeans for Safe Connections that Rob talked about. And then I'm also the international coordinator of the Danish EHS Association. So, you remember all, maybe back in 2018 and 19, when all of the politicians talked about 5G. And there was a lot of articles and people raising their voices, and we had demonstrations all over the world that we did not want 5G because it was not considered healthy and so on. So I hope you remember that time. That was in many ways a great time. We had protests all over Europe, worldwide. We had scientists writing appeals, sending to the politicians. We had articles in the newspaper. At least we tried. Sometimes we succeeded, sometimes we didn't, because the media was not on our side. Letters of the editor. We had lawyers in Denmark. We have a Danish lawyer that wrote a response on 5G that was a really strong response. So please, if you want to dig into that, come to me and I'll tell you where to find it. We had Stop5G conferences all over the world and so on. But the result was nobody listened. No politicians, no authorities. Nothing happened. No one took responsibility. So, it was a total failure to protect health and nature. And as it was Ken Chamberlain talking about the trees, it's so visible now. Watch the trees. Tell people, watch the trees, and they will sometimes open their eyes if they can see what's going on. And there was no health or environmental assessment at all. They just wanted 5G to be rolled out. In Denmark, it should be all over. Driverless cars, garbage cans that could tell the garbage man when they had to empty it, and so on. It was just crazy. At schools, like, books were thrown out, and in came iPads and computers and so on. So, yeah, that was the start of coming together on a European level, because we were struggling with the same issues in Denmark as they were in the Netherlands and in Belgium and France and so on. And all of the politicians and the laws and regulations in Denmark, almost all, comes from the EU. So if we want to make changes, we had to go to the European level to make some changes. And then we found out that there was this European Citizens Initiative thing that we could use as a tool for getting together and making changes, or at least proposing changes to the EU law. And that is how we started. Zoom meetings. I think I've been living in Zoom for 3 years. I just came out to go here. So we have been really spending a lot of hours on the wired Zoom meeting connections. So that is how we've been working, and that is how we actually wrote a really huge annex, or a report on 80 pages, where we referred to the EU treaties and where we want changes, and exactly what law and what directives and what regulation we want changes, with the exact wordings in. So that was really a tough work for the team to do, but we did very good. So the next slide, please. And there came out 23 proposals. We had 10 proposals about all living beings and how to protect them from EMF. We wrote 8 proposals about how we could protect nature, plants, bees, the environment. And we wrote 5 proposals about protecting privacy, security and freedom. So that was the agreement among the countries in Europe. And I'll tell you, it was not easy, because like when you come from Spain or Italy and France, you have a different opinion about what is important from when you come from Denmark or Sweden or whatever. So we had many debates, but it was good, and we practice our English. So I'm much better in English now than I was 3 years ago. So just to give you some examples of what I'm talking about, this is exactly what's in Proposal 5. Ensure the testing of wireless devices, antennas, and their operation assesses all biological active parameters of RF EMF. So that is what we are asking, or what we ask the EU to do. Proposal number 15, recognize all biologically harmful parameters of RF EMF as pollutant. That would be a very good thing if we could make that change in the EU system. Include them in all relevant EU policies and directives. And as an example for proposal number 22, require each citizen's explicit consent in order to subject their data to any automated procedure. And you all know now about whatever that's going on with surveillance and digital ID and so on. So I will not say any more about that. So this is, it's a little bit hard to see. See, like my pictures are a little bit clear, but the sun is shining so nicely today, so it's a little bit clear. But we have examples from Sweden, where they joined fair. So just tell you how we managed to get out to people, and how we try to tell about the ECI, about the signature collection, and how we try to collect signatures. So this is examples from a fair where they in Sweden had a stand, and they were collecting signatures from people at the fair. And from the Netherlands, where they went to the streets, tried to collect signatures from citizens. And the next one, please. And this is from Germany, where they combined the EHS day from 2022 with collecting signatures for the ECI. And the next one, please. And there's some items from Germany, and that was the picture from Denmark. That is from the kickoff start. That was the 1st of March 2022, where we were standing in front of the health department, or the health ministry in Denmark, and we were handing out flyers to them, so we could educate them a little bit. We thought they needed that. And we have some pictures from Slovakia and from Spain, where they had campaigns and so on. So that is how we worked, and we worked really hard. The next one, please. So that is how many signatures we got for 1 year. Yeah. So we could say, yeah, that's a failure. But we had a lot of obstacles, and we found out that many people that are aware of the dangers from 5G, and I want to say it's not only 5G, it's also 3D and 4G. We're not only focused on 5G, because all this is also about 4G and 3D and what do you call it, routers and Bluetooth connection and so on. So all these people that are aware of this, they don't want to give their data to the EU. So therefore they will not sign. So that was really an obstacle for us to try to convince them that you have to sign this, because then we can make some changes. But many people are so disappointed about what the EU are doing, and they don't want us to give away their personal data. So that was a thing that was a bit hard to handle. But if you compare to all the national petitions we had all over Europe, we have, I hope this, is that number correct, Rob? About 600,000 signatures. We have tried. Yes, we have tried to collect the signatures collection from the Netherlands. You had 50,000 signatures that you handed over to the government. Yeah, and we have signature collections in Denmark, and they have it in Germany and so on. And we added the numbers together. So this number here, as we can see, does not represent the opinion of the European people, when the national petitions can get 600,000 signatures. So, yes, the next one, please. So besides being up to what, like, people will not give away their data, we also experienced censorship. Like, we were blocked on Facebook, and we were blocked on YouTube and LinkedIn, and we could not fundraise because the issue Stop5G was like not a thing they would deal with. So we could not fundraise on certain fundraising platforms. And also that we had the Corona period where people were like focused on Corona. So it was just like in 2018 and 19 where all the demonstrations were going on, and I was arranging demonstrations in Denmark also and joining other demonstrations. Then suddenly, like in March 2020, boom, everything went down. So that was also an obstacle to deal with. So now I want to talk about all the successes we have actually had with this great work here. So even though we didn't manage to collect these 1 million signatures, we managed to do a lot of other stuffs. We have now a Europe-wide collaboration. Just watch us here. This is great. This is the sign of that we have this. So we have worldwide collaboration. Rob has just had Ken Chamberlain and ICBE on the screen here. That's also a sign that we are working together now, and that is so important. We have high scientific level. We work together with scientists and people that are into science and writing critique of reports that comes out of the EU. So it's not just like something we're saying. We're really digging into the science and the policy. So we're really doing a good job. We are trying to educate public, to raise public awareness also. And we also consult on EU law and policy. And we have a very active lady in Slovakia. She's called Petra. And she's really good at this. And when we had our meeting on Zoom, and she also came out, oh, now there's this law and this regulation, and we have to give the feedback. And we say, oh, who will do it? No, I cannot do it. I'm busy with this. No, Rob could not do it either. And said, okay, I'll do it, Petra said. So she has been really busy with this, and it's so good to this job she has done, because now we're into giving feedback to all the policies and all the laws in the EU that comes out that is relevant for us, working with the RF, EMF, and health issues and so on. So that work will continue in the Europeans for Safe Connections. A lot of what we have started in the ECI will continue in the Europeans for Safe Connections. And then we were invited to the EU workshop in the 7th of February. You had the picture. The last slide, that was the picture. That was like kicking in the door at the EU. That was so good to be there. Like the feeling of going inside the EU building and sitting in front of Peter Stuckmann from the Commission. That was great. And then we have the success with creating Europeans for Safe Connections. And that is based on all the networking and all the talks we have had for 3 years on Zoom. And that has been the outcome of the ECI work, the Europeans for Safe Connections. So we have had a Europe-wide collaboration and support. We are supported by 50 European organizations in the ECI, and we have had supporting letters from 11 professors that supports the ECI. So that was really good. We're writing to many professors all over Europe and the world, and they wrote back a supporting letter for the ECI. And we still have it on our webpage. And then we have 23 supporting countries. Our goal was to get all 27 EU countries to support us, but we didn't manage that. But in the beginning we had 23 supporting countries, but at the end, some of them left, but that's another story. We have, I just have to say something about PhoneGate. We have really great collaboration with PhoneGate because we are writing letters together with PhoneGate to all the regulators of each country who regulates and monitor radiation from wireless. So we're doing this systematically to all the countries. And now we have 14 EU countries, and we will continue to do it until we have all the European countries. And then we ask them answers. We want them to answer our questions. That was the other way around. So we question what they're doing, and we ask them to give us answers on our questions about what they do to monitor, how they regulate, and so on. And then we look at the answers and work with them. And the next move we are discussing now. We have a little working group with PhoneGate. Another issue is that it's just an example here that the Nordic Appeal, I don't know if you've heard about it, there was 9 Nordic organizations working together writing an appeal about tightening the regulation of wireless devices. And we send it to the EU, we have sent it to WHO, we send it to all the authorities in all the countries. So we're working together to make a push, not only in one country, not only on the EU level, but in all countries in Europe at the same time. Worldwide support, we got really great support from many organizations worldwide. And one of them I will mention is Safe Tech International. They have really been good at trying to promote what we are doing in Europe, because everybody was watching Europe at that time. And we got feedback from people in Australia and South America and all over saying, how can I sign this ECI? And I have to write back, no, you cannot sign it because you're not a member of the EU. So that was like, lots of people watched what we were doing because they thought, they could see that it could be very important if we reach 1 million signatures. Because if there's a change in the EU system, then the change will spread to the rest of the world. We had support from Cellular Phone Task Force, from Arthur Furstenberg, EMF scientists, and so on. And then I'll mention this one here, Remembering Nearfield. Have you heard about that film? Yeah, that's an amazing animated movie that tells a story about an EHS person, a personal story, and it's really touching. And it was made by Sean Carney from Safe Tech International, and he has done a great job. I think he's a movie maker. Yeah, he's a movie maker, and you must see it. And he has won several awards. And can I say something, Corrielle? Can we say who's the main person in the movie? She's sitting there.
So Sean, he had a professional review on this film, and they gave the film a 4.6 out of 5. So that's extremely good. And well, all what you see here, they wrote about it. It's all, well, those are such nice words. I think I read the last paragraph. Remembering Nearfield raises many critical questions about our collective responsibilities towards health issues and disabilities. It's a powerful call to action, an urgent story that insists on our attention. Carney has crafted an exquisite film, poignant, heartbreaking, yet hopeful, highlighting the strength and tenacity of the human spirit. The film, in all its stark reality and animated beauty, is a testament to the power of art in driving societal change and awareness. So,
thank you. Thank you, Corrielle. Yeah. So that's a movie to watch and imagine Corrielle when you see it. I think I have to speed it up a little bit. I was just saying that we work highly scientific, and we have connection to the people that wrote this critique of the Scheer report. I don't know if you've heard about it, but it's really an issue to go into, because they just managed to send out their final opinion 3 days ago, I think, and we have to do something about it, because this is terrible what they are doing in the EU. And we, as Rob showed, had a Danish guy that made some posters for us, and just to be like getting people to smile, because this is a really serious subject, and sometimes it's so difficult, and people like if you start talking about all the EMF and the radiation, the waves and all this other science, people goes like this, and they you can see in their eyes they're not listening. Yeah, you're nodding. Yeah. so sometimes you have to have a smile on your face, and like this is a pink condom on top of the antenna, and over here that was because we also dealt with the data security. Like, don't worry, we're watching you, so don't worry. Yeah, that was very good. And then we have made a lot of posters. It's a little bit sad that you cannot see all the good colors, but we made a lot of posters when we had the International Children's Day and the Environmental Day and so on. We tried to get out to get people to be aware of our ECI, to get signatures collected. And what we also did was we translated it into all EU languages. So we had 27 different posters for everything we did. So that work, I think, we will continue in the Europeans for Safe Connection. So we are skilled in translating. And the next one, please. So we have made posters about how to reduce your exposure and put it on Facebook and Instagram and all over. This is what I mentioned before, that Peter was really keen on us digging into. Also, every time we wrote an answer, feedback to the EU laws and so on, we also made a poster and we put it on social media, and we asked people to share it, and we asked people to sign, and we asked people to do the same. Because you can also, if you're a new EU member of an EU member state, a citizen of an EU member state, you can yourself do a feedback also. So we encourage people to do that. And the next one, please. This is maybe the greatest success from the little failure over here that we did not manage to collect 1 million signatures. Europeans for Safe Connection, as Rob said, is going to be a strong network where we work together and we connect on all different kind of levels. And as I don't know if you remember what Ken Chamberlain said. If we want to make changes, where should it come from? The grassroots. Yeah, that's us. We are the grassroots. So we have to push forward. And the next one, the success being inside the EU building, I felt really great. We kicked in the EU door. We had the yellow chairs outside and our banners and so on. And I remember sitting in there, and we had Corrielle telling her story, and we had Rob talking about the science, and many people speaking out loud about the impact of EMF on their life. You were there also, David. You were talking also, And we had. Okay, you didn't earn a lot of money. Yeah, that's right. And we had what's her name from the other organization? Yeah, Guy was there also. Yeah. Yes, she was also there. Yeah. And why I mention all these people is that Marine, well, thank you. We all talked about how bad this was and how much damage it made to the people and to the nature and to the birds and the bees. And then Peter Stuckman from the EU Commission, he was his turn to say something, and he just talked about starting up 6G, and I was just like sitting there, wow, that's amazing. And I asked him a question. I think it was a little bit, what do you call, fresh, yeah, provocative. But I just had to do it. I said to him, haven't you listened to us? To all what we have said. It was just like I was looking at the others and say, he just jumped down from the moon. He's not been listening to what we have said. He just talked about 6G. That was amazing. But that's a good experience. But I think I will stop here with the last slide. That was our message to the EU and the EU Commission as I presented at the EU workshop that day. And thank you for listening. And we hope that you will all join, or many of you will join tomorrow at our workshop. Thank you.